In a search for lost media, we uncovered what we thought to be a glitch in Spotify's database through the strange phenomenon of ghost links. Per a recommendation from someone named SilverFish in our Discord, I tried searching for information about an artist named Jake Eastman, whose songs were supposedly lost to time. He made some pretty interesting alternative pop rock music a few years ago, but now all that I can find are a few useless websites and a dead Spotify link. This link will be incredibly valuable later, though. To see how this simple lost media search revealed a giant mystery within one of the biggest streaming databases in the world, along with various third-party services, you're gonna want to stick around. Welcome to Lost Artists. This segment will take the place of today's music review. I'll have SilverFish himself describe Jake Eastman's music and his story with it, since I can't actually listen to the full album myself anymore.
Hello, I'm SilverFish. His first album came out November 8th, 2023, called Thoughts Before Bed, with 8 tracks. Before that, he made 2 singles. The first one was Give a Little Love. That song came out in July 8th, 2021, but it got deleted, and since I discovered him in 2023, I never had a chance to listen to it. And his second single, Blame Me, was made on January 13th, 2023. I didn't really listen to it, so I can't really describe it to you. Before it got removed, you could go to the source code of the website. I would get the audio clip from there, or you could just record it on OBS.
Thanks, SilverFish. Now, let's get into the main method I tried to recover Jake's music with. I've heard rumors of services that allow users to input Spotify links to download an MP3 file of the song. For legal reasons, we can't condone the usage of sites like these, and as an added warning, they are filled to the brim with explicit ads and trackers. For the sake of the investigation, though, they were one of our only leads. There were 4 sites that I found that have functionality like this, hereby referred to as downloaders or services 1, 2, 3, and 4. As I said before, we are actually able to find a dead link to Jake's album, Thoughts Before Bed, on Spotify. If you add the album to a playlist, though, you can get individual links to each song that you can then copy and paste into one of these 4 downloaders. From here on out, these special glitched links will be called ghost links. When I first tried downloading a song from Jake's album through Service 1, I chose All That Quiet (stripped) because it sounded most interesting to me out of all the snippets that SilverFish sent. I was surprised when the service didn't actually fire an error saying it was a ghost link or a null link, but rather gave me an entirely different song? I repeated this with Pressure from his album, and again, it gave me a seemingly unrelated song by a different artist. Let go of the pain. Something important to keep in mind is that it would not tell me what this song actually was. All of the metadata and the file information still said it was the song by Jake Eastman from his album. At this point, I thought we had hit a wall, until I remembered another album that was pulled from Spotify. Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. I'm sure some of you out there know this one. Loveless was removed from the service around 6 months ago, but only in the US. Because of this, as I found out later, most of the time it would just give me the actual real song by My Bloody Valentine because it could detect it on Spotify in another country. However, the very first time I put the first track into downloader number 1, it gave me something completely unexpected. File 1. Or at least, that's what we've come to call it here, as it was the first file that I placed on a spreadsheet when I started the real investigation. Take a listen to the first few seconds.
Howdy folks, I'm going to do an update on this 1926 Frigidaire system. As you may remember, I mentioned a vibration in the motor.
Now, I'm no expert yet, but I don't think that sounds like a typical song on Spotify. Just my opinion. I was totally and utterly confused by this, but I was also extremely interested. I kicked off the investigation of this mystery by asking 3 main questions. 1. Can we sound search the mismatched songs it gave me? It turns out we can. Using Google's voice sound search feature, I was able to identify the names of the real songs that it was giving me. 2. Is it the same incorrect file every time? Yes. Downloader 1 always gives the same howdy voice clip for Only Shallow by My Bloody Valentine.
Howdy, folks.
3. Is it the same incorrect file on a different downloader service? Remember, we have 4. No. Now this is where it really gets interesting. I tried putting a link to Pressure by Jake Eastman into Downloader 3, and instead of giving me the same song it gave me on Downloader 1, it gave me another weird audio clip. Take a listen to this one.
Transition defense, fool's gold. Fool's gold. That's getting back where everyone in the building thinks you are back because you are down the other end of the floor, but you're not set.
Now, knowing that there could be more strange audio files out there, we had to set out on a real mission to discover where they were coming from. We now had 12 songs. 8 songs from Thoughts Before Bed, Jake's 2 singles, Only Shallow, and another removed single SilverFish knew about called Supernova by an artist named Kaleo. To put the links in, we had 4 downloader sites. This made for a total of 48 potential glitched audio files. Working together, SilverFish and I downloaded all 48 files and found several very interesting insights. First, the way it finds the incorrect songs is by finding ones with similar names when the link is a ghost link. This was evident by the second song I tried in my initial investigation. Pressure by Jake Eastman became Pressure Man by Jake. Another example is that Pretend by Jake Eastman became Let's Pretend by Jake Erskine. Like I said earlier, Only Shallow by My Bloody Valentine gave the real song on sites 2, 3, and 4, likely because the album is only unavailable in the US and therefore can still be found online, unlike Jake Eastman's music. Initially, the numbers seemed to be as follows. 15 out of 48 were strange audio recordings instead of songs. 28 out of 48 were actual songs that we could find the name of by sound searching on Google. 5 out of 48 either gave no audio file or could not be interpreted by the downloader, twice with downloader 2 and 3 times with downloader 4. Most of the real songs weren't very noteworthy, I'll be honest. There was a vast range of them, not from any specific time period or any specific genre, so that didn't give us any hints. Interestingly though, sometimes 2 services would give the same song. For example, on every service except number 4, Blame Me by Jake Eastman became Blame Me by a band called MONSTA X. In addition, both Gunfight and Jump Seat by Jake Eastman became a gospel choir song called Down Here Lord Waitin' on You by Jake Field. Both of these instances were from Downloader 4. These showed us that every time, the incorrect song either matched the real song's name in some way or was by an artist with Jake in their name. Evidently, the services were searching by name when the link turned up null. There were several interesting anomalies among the 15 strange audio files, though. This is my favorite part of the video and the investigation as a whole. Can you tell? Because I made 48 custom images for all of them. First, there was one instance of 2 services generating the same weird audio clip. Files 21 and 23.
There have always been conflicts abroad, and rarely have we seen them spill into our streets the way that we have.
On services 1 and 3, Radio Silence by Jake Eastman became some kind of political speech that we didn't know the meaning of at first. So essentially, there were only 14 strange audio files. Second, File 9 seemed to be ambience and sound effects from some video game, which we also didn't know at the time. This one came from the song Gunfight when used on Downloader 1. Third, we found one audio file, File 35, that seemed to be a song. It had obvious guitar, but a sound search strangely turned up nothing. In addition to all of these, we got 2 audio clips that seem to be from a movie or TV drama, files 11 and 27.
Flynn, go and get my second revolver.
Hey, officer. Officer. Yeah, you can I talk to you? I need some help. Okay?
These were especially interesting. Neither of us knew which show or which film they were from, but we kept notes of them for later. Finally, the audio file I found most mysterious and interesting was file 24, provided by the fourth downloader for Radio Silence by Jake Eastman. It seemed to be a low, ominous rumbling that fluctuated in pitch and speed as the audio went on, lasting 11 minutes in total. SilverFish and I were totally baffled by this one and tried several things to determine its origin. First, we tried running up a sound search. Nothing. After that, I tried speeding up the audio in FL Studio, and it was even more concerning. Now it sounded like a dying alien. We were not able to figure this one out until we were able to understand how these files worked. This led us to a few theories. What could be causing this? Number 1. Spotify video podcasts are a thing. Users can upload practically anything as a video podcast, turning the back corners of Spotify into a glorified slop YouTube page. You can find certain gems here like every single game theory video or the entirety of the Little Panda Fighter movie.
Too much confusion can make you seem mentally unstable. I think you are unstable.
Number 2. Could it just be weird songs on Spotify? This was only a brief idea. It was quickly shot down because obviously if they were songs in the Spotify database, they would probably come up in a sound search. So then, number 3. Could they be YouTube videos? But how would that be possible? I'm inputting a Spotify link. It should hypothetically be impossible to get a YouTube video out of that. Hypothetically. Those anomaly files actually tell us everything we need to know. Where else could you possibly find gaming content, movie clips, tutorials, and press conferences? It had to be through YouTube. But how then were we supposed to find these videos? We started with the one that we thought would be easiest to search for keywords from. File 30. This was Downloader 2's rendition of Jump Seat by Jake Eastman, and it seemed to be a pilot tutorial for jump seating, something completely foreign to me, but whatever. This was good though. Listen to what it opens with.
Jump seat etiquette. Yes, please.
It was really easy to just throw that verbatim into the YouTube search bar, and just as we thought, it was the very first video that came up. Did you catch that though? The song Jump Seat gave us a video about jump seat etiquette. This was the breakthrough. It was still searching for something relevant to the name, even when the output wasn't a song. From there, we nailed down a simple process to find the origins of the glitched audio files. It was as easy as putting the song and artist name into the YouTube search bar, and it was almost always one of the top 3 results. Initially, there were a few we were missing, but later that night as I was eating dinner, SilverFish actually went out and found the source of every single file. That's dedication right there. Here are the interesting ones and the origins of the anomalies I discussed earlier. The fabled File 1 is just a dude talking about a problem he had with an old refrigerator system. Basically exactly what we expected.
Howdy folks, I'm going to do an update on this 1926 Frigidaire system.
File 7 is practically just as much of a mystery as it was before we found the origin. It's a guy, whose last name is Eastman, which explains how the downloader found it, explaining something in a gym. It could be a sport, it could be acting, which is what I think, or it could be self-defense, which is what SilverFish thinks.
Transition defense, fool's gold. Fool's gold. That's getting back where everyone in the building...
File 9 is indeed gameplay. It's a video of DayZ from 2021. The uploader's name is Jake Eastman, the exact same spelling as on Spotify. I'm uncertain if this is the same guy, but the connection is pretty irrelevant. File 11 is a movie just like we thought. I don't know which one it's from, but it's a movie clip nonetheless.
Flynn, go and get my second revolver.
File 21 and File 23, the ones that matched each other, are a press conference from a Canadian politician from only 3 days ago as of writing this script.
There have always been conflicts abroad.
And to those of you who are excited to find its origin, I'm sorry, but File 24 is a little underwhelming. It turns out that all the scary feedback ambience isn't a strange audio file at all. It's actually just another song, one by a relatively unknown ambient artist named Jake Hart. It's also called Radio Silence, which explains how it came up in the downloader. We couldn't actually find the exact video of File 27, but it doesn't matter because it's just a re-uploaded clip of Season 14, Episode 2 of a show called Blue Bloods. And finally, File 35, the inexplicable guitar recording, is a video of a guy playing a demo on a mandolin, an Eastman brand instrument. That explains it. I didn't mention it earlier, but this is also what happened to File 29. It was a guy playing guitar. It's another Eastman guitar demo, which looks sick. I would totally use that guitar. It's also made by a guy named Jake, so that explains a lot. And that means our major mystery is solved. Spotify link downloaders search for the top result on YouTube with the keywords when provided with a ghost link. It was certainly a roller coaster to get to this point, but now we know the reasoning behind it. I have bad news though, or good news depending on what kind of person you are. The real Jake Eastman's music is still lost. This is the first time I've made a video on actual lost media. At the Small Artists Initiative, we try our best to close the case on things like this, but we can't find any more leads on where to get Jake's album. If you want to contribute to the search or want to help investigate other mysteries just like this one, you can join our Discord. Although SilverFish and I were the only ones available, this whole investigation was held in a public voice channel open to anyone. If another music-based internet anomaly like this pops up, you can help us be the first ones on the case and be featured in a video just like SilverFish was. Thanks a lot to him. This video wouldn't have been possible without his help. And of course, thank you for watching. As always, keep exploring new sounds.